Hi, you guys, and welcome to episode number 294. I am recording this episode on location just north of Tampa, Florida, in Saddlebrook Golf and Tennis Resort down here at a very cool event with Myron Golden called the Offer Mastery Live. And so there's going to be probably a little bit of background noise and my sound might be a little bit different for this episode. But how could I resist? If you are not watching the video on YouTube, cruise over there because this place is just beautiful. And you know me. If you guys have been following me for any period of time, it's not going to surprise you at all that I decided to record a podcast out here by the pool, by the bird sanctuary in my flip-flops, and ready to dive in with you today. So today we are talking about the difference between an offer and a product. And the event I'm actually at right now with amazing speakers and incredible humans like Eileen Wilder is here. She was a guest on the podcast a few months ago. And everybody's talking about offers and making offers. And being an offer engineer that I am, I realize there's one thing that is glaringly missing from what they are talking about at this event. And that's what we're talking about here today on this podcast episode. So for all of the show notes, cruise over to sweetlifeco.com. This is episode number 294, and you are in the right place if you are a subject matter expert, a consultant, a speaker, a coach, or an advisor of some kind, and you build offers and programs based on your expertise to help other people get fantastic results from the processes you have created. And so if that is you, this is an awesome episode to be listening to. Cruise over to the show notes because I'm actually going to give you a worksheet download with this episode, totally free, breaking out the 5 components of an offer. And so make sure you're cruising over to the show notes on our website. You have to go to sweetlifeco.com to get those. Click on the podcast and search number 294, and I will make sure that you get, it's actually a 2-page worksheet with explanations and a bunch of cool stuff. So if this is what you want, if you're not really sure the difference between an offer and an actual program, then stay tuned and let's go ahead and dive in. Okay guys, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. If you're watching the video, I had to move locations. There was just a little bit too much background noise there, but I want to get to what we're talking about here today. So we're talking about the difference between an offer and a program. And frankly, I have never heard anybody define this. And I realized that I think maybe there's some confusion or maybe some feeling of overwhelm for experts and coaches and advisors and consultants because there's a lot of talk about build your offer, build $1 million offers, build high ticket offers, build low ticket offers, build mini offers, right? But there is a difference between an offer and a program. And so I wanted to bring that to light here and help clarify that. Now, of course, here are some disclaimers. I've never heard anybody define the difference. And so this is my belief. This is my expertise in doing this now for 17 years. This is how I define the difference between an offer and a program. You may find somebody else has a totally different definition. All right, so let's start by telling you a story to help you understand what I'm going to explain here today on the podcast. So let's say your friend is having a party and she's just totally overwhelmed. She has so much going on and you offer to help her. And here's some of the things you say. You say, I am going to help you do your grocery shopping. I'm going to help you plan the menu. I'm going to help you send out invitations. I'm going to help you decorate the house and decorate the living room. I'm going to help you clean up your house. You know, how many of you know that that's the biggest work of a party is making sure, you know, your bathroom's clean and everything. And so you make this great offer to her and you offer to do all these things for her. You may even say, I promise I'll be there by this time. You may even say, I guarantee you everybody will love the food that I make. All right? That is an offer. You're offering to do something for her. Now, you go, you show up that day, you do every single thing that you said, and you use your secret genius sauce expertise to actually make that food that you guaranteed everybody would love, to actually make sure the house is decorated just as you promised. That is the product. So there is a difference between the offer and what you're offering to do for somebody and the product. The offer is the promise, the guarantee, what's in it for them. The offer is even a little bit of scarcity. Even if you say to your friend, look, I'm willing to help you, but I have this other thing that somebody else wants me to do that same weekend, so you need to let me know by 5 o'clock tonight if you want my help. That's part of the offer. You're offering to help her, okay? But the product is you actually showing up and doing the work with her, for her, or teaching her how to do the work yourself. And so now let's take that analogy, and hopefully that clarified it for you. Now let's take that analogy and let's talk about your business, right? Like how that actually can apply to your business. You hear so many coaches, again, I'm here at this amazing, beautiful space with these multi-millionaires, multiple 7 and 8 figure business owners, and they're talking about generated offers, and they're talking about their offers, and they're teaching their students how to generate these amazing offers. And they're talking about very important things that have to do with offers, like what you're going to promise them and how you increase the value of what you do. But nobody here, and frankly ever, have I ever heard actually explain the difference between the offer and a product. And so that's what I want to talk about here on the podcast. And my goal is to help you with whatever part of your business you're building. So of course, that's been the goal here for 6 years on the podcast. Those of you guys that listen to the show know that we deliver coaching and strategies that other coaches will charge you thousands for. I can and do charge in depth for the things that we're talking about here on the show. Okay, so this is really, really valuable. And my goal here for you is that I want you to understand what you're working on. When you have clarity in your work, you get faster action. So I want to separate the difference between an offer and a product in an effort to help you understand which one you're actually working on or which one may need the most work. A few weeks ago, and darn it, I should have looked it up for you. I don't remember the exact episode, but a few months back, we did an episode. It was so powerful on the 6 components of a scalable offer, okay? And that was language that people really understand. It was the 6 components of a scalable offer, or I think it was actually 6 components of a scalable program, right? What I was teaching in that podcast is what goes in the actual product itself. I was not talking about how to make an offer. I was talking about how to actually build the product, the program, with these 6 components in every single program. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're doing live virtual events, retreats, running a mastermind, having an MRR, like a monthly reoccurring revenue program, building a course. Every single program has to hit all 6 of those components. That's another episode. I'll reference it for you here in the show notes. But that is only half of it. So I digress. My goal is for you to be able to identify this part of my business needs work. It's either the offer or it's the product. Okay, so let's talk about what could go in each one of these. There are 5 components to the offer building side. And there are 3 components to the product side. And then obviously each of these trickle down and there's a bunch more steps, bunch more details that I can't go into right now on this podcast. I just want to go really high level here to help communicate the difference. So in an offer, when we're talking about the offer itself, 5 components that make up a sold out offer include your pricing. And we're not even getting into pricing or any of these. I'm just giving you, again, high level. Your pricing makes up your offer. And so let's go back to our story of offering to help your friend. You may say, hey, listen, I'm going to do this for free. You may say, listen, this is a really good use of, your investment in me. And let's say your friend, I don't know, maybe she's a massage therapist, and you trade her out. You say, I'm going to plan your party for you, and you give me a great massage. Whatever the pricing is, that goes into the offer. The next component of the actual offer itself is scarcity. That's when you tell your friend, hey, listen, I need to know by 5 o'clock tonight, or I'm booked, right? Or there's only 3 seats left in my program. That's another component of making your offer. Another one is the bonus, okay? So a big part of creating great sold out offers is giving bonuses. If you do not listen to Alex Hormozi, love this guy, he's the author of $1 Million Offers. He talks about not just throwing anything into offers. And you know that we've been talking about this for years on the podcast as well. We don't throw just a bunch of crap, honestly, into your products to increase the value. We're very strategic about what we pick that goes in your programs. But part of making an offer is communicating what those bonuses are. You want your bonuses, and this is for free. You're welcome. You want your bonuses to solve a problem that your client is having in one of their hesitations of buying you. So make sure when you pick bonuses, we could do a whole episode on bonuses, we actually will. When you pick your bonuses, make sure that they aren't just a whole bunch of fluff. Nobody needs more content, guys. And I know I say this quote all the time. I'm going to say it again. It's really important. Nobody needs more content. They need a transformation. And time is more valuable than their money. They'd actually pay you more to reduce the amount of time. So going back to what is included in the offer side of it. We talked about pricing. We talked about scarcity. Then we just hit on bonuses. Include bonuses that answer their hesitations to buying you. The next one is your guarantee. Let's go back to our friend and we're helping her plan her party. The guarantee is when you say, I guarantee you that when your guests taste my chocolate cake, it's going to be the very best cake they ever tasted. Okay? That's a guarantee. So what are you guaranteeing is going to happen in the end result of your offer? And then the promise is the last component of an offer. Your promise is, I promise I'll be there at 1 o'clock. I promise I'll show up and I'll give you 100% of my attention. I promise I'll help you clean up when the party is over. Those are promises. And so that is the offer side. You're making an offer and you're giving promises and you're giving guarantees and you're quantifying the value. And that is what we work on when we're actually building the offer side of it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Message me on LinkedIn at April Beach if this does not make sense to you, or on Instagram as well, April Beach Life on Instagram. But I wanted to share that component. Again, I'm here at Offer Mastery Live with, seriously, I mean, just amazing mentors that I have looked up to and learned so much from for so long. But this is missing. Nobody's talking about this, okay? So this is the offer side of it. Now let's talk about the program, the product side of it. Because this podcast is, what is the difference between an offer and a program? The program is the actual product itself. It is the content, and it is the model of delivery that makes up what you're actually doing. It's your curriculum. It is your intellectual property. It is your teaching. So there are 3 components that you need to hit on in order to build a transformational program. I don't care if this program, again, is a 1-hour masterclass, a 12-month mastermind. It doesn't matter yet. Okay, so let me explain this to you. The bottom line is your program has to have these 3 components to be transformational. The first one is it needs to have your method or your framework. Your program, your way of teaching is your intellectual property. And the way you do things and the way you teach things I can't do it the way you do it. Nobody can compete with you. Your unique method is your process of getting people results. Let's go back to our friend and we're helping them have the party. Our unique method of baking that chocolate cake is what makes us be able to guarantee that the cake is the best cake anybody ever tasted. All right, so your program, first and foremost, we cannot build any program until you first build your framework or your method in which the program is built around. Frankly, that is the centerpiece, and if you've heard any of my other podcasts, we talk about method and framework creation all the time here on the show because it's literally like the center of your universe. Your method, just think of the sun and the solar system, and everything else flies around it. Your method and your framework of getting people results is in the center. That's the first component of your program. The second one is the actual curriculum itself. That is the curriculum that fills up the content. First, you have the process of teaching, and then you're going to dive into how am I actually doing it. This is the nitty-gritty of the chocolate cake recipe. This is 1/3 of a cup of sugar and a half a stick of butter. Okay, these are the nitty-gritty components that fill up all of the ingredients in your chocolate cake, in your genius, in your promise of what you deliver. Your curriculum is also your intellectual property. And if you're struggling with building curriculum, that's one of the things that we do. We have a framework called transformational program design. You can also listen to other podcasts where I teach on TPD and transformational program design. But for the purpose of this one, let's just dive in saying, okay, the program itself, number one, it has your method and framework. Number two, it has your genius curriculum. And then the last thing that makes up your program is the model of delivery in the client experience. So first, you build your method of getting people results. Second, you extract your genius and you download all of your amazing content, your recipe. The very last thing we do is picking the model. And by the way, people do that wrong all the time. I think every single person out there builds a program in the wrong way. We don't pick the model until the end. We don't want to pick the model until two things. Until number one, you fully understand how you want your life and your time to work, and then we reverse engineer it into the delivery model that works for you. You all know I travel 6 months a year with my kids. My husband and I own 5 companies. I own 2 international business consulting firms. How do I do that? I first determined the content I need to give my clients, and then I determined how I want to live my life, and then I reverse engineered it into the delivery model of my program. And you can do that too. So let's kind of summarize this and wrap this up with a bow. There is a difference between an offer and a program. What are you struggling with? Are you struggling with determining and clarifying the offer side of it, which is your price, scarcity, bonuses, promises, and guarantee? Or are you struggling with actually delivering your product? Are you struggling on the product and the program side of it? There seems to be a million coaches out there that are teaching you guys how to create offers, but nobody, I can't say nobody, we do it, but I'm sure there's a lot of amazing coaches out there to do it, so I haven't come across them yet, actually extracts your genius into the product. People get stuck pulling their genius out of their head into a transformational methodology and product and the curriculum itself. And so I want you to understand what you're struggling with right now. Do you feel like you're getting stuck on the offer side of it, making the offer to people? What's the pricing? What's the scarcity? What are the bonuses? What is the promise and what is the guarantee? Or do you feel like the actual product itself is where you are getting stuck? Are you stuck in, do you not have your method built yet? Do you not have your process or your framework created yet? Do you not, what's another good example? Do you not have the content filled into your program? Do you not know what to say in your videos? And by the way, don't just take ChatGPT, and what they say. It has to be your own intellectual property. Great tool. You guys can actually go to our website and download our AI for Coaches tools, where I give you a downloadable how to create a program and a product using ChatGPT, and I give you all the rules around that. We love giving you guys so much free stuff that your business transforms. It makes me so happy. But the content, the curriculum itself, is that what you're struggling with? Or are you struggling with understanding and defining your model? Do you not know if you want to do VIP days or a membership? Do you not know if you want to launch a course? By the way, courses have not been selling and converting since 2008. If there are course creation coaches out there that are saying launch a course and you're going to make millions of dollars, they're probably lying to you unless your audience is in the corporate space. Those courses are doing awesome. I mean, I'll always give you my opinion. It's okay, a lot of people hate the things I say. But listen, I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you what I know from literally 27 years coaching other businesses. And I have been teaching experts and entrepreneurs how to build their programs since 2006 originally, but really since 2008. And so I want you to hear this because at the end of this, your action items are, what is the biggest thing you're struggling with? Is it making the offer, or is it actually developing the product? And I believe that once you identify what it is you're struggling with, you can take faster action to get it done and to have faster results. I want you to take what you have here on the show and take immediate action. So let's wrap it up. This is episode number 294 here on the Sweet Life Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm April Beach, if we don't know each other, and you can cruise over to sweetlifeco.com and find all of the resources we have there for you. And today on the show, we talked about what is the difference between an offer and a program and why is it important. And I would like for you to identify if you're struggling in this area or you want more knowledge in this area, what is the one action item you are going to take from this show? It could be just going and taking a piece of paper and outlining, here are the components of my offer, here are the components of my actual product based on what we talked about here in the show. It could be going to our website, clicking on the podcast, hitting episode number 294, and downloading the free 2-page worksheet. Jessica, our COO, she's fantastic, built this worksheet for you guys. And you can download this worksheet and it breaks down the 5 components of an offer. Or it could be just listening to this twice or just thinking about what you're struggling with. Sometimes we don't know the problem that we have because we're so used to consuming more information because we think the problem's just going to show up. The more we learn from people, the more we consume, and then the more we learn, and then the more we consume. So if you're not really sure with what your product is struggling with right now, I just want to encourage you to stop for a minute and allow yourself to be introspective. Stop listening to my voice, so I'll shut up here in just a sec, and give yourself permission to actually look at your own product instead of having people talk at you all the time. And so on that note, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me here. And again, down here in beautiful Saddleback Resort in Florida. If you're watching the video, yes, I am totally sweating, but I love being outside. And I'm gonna go inside and enjoy the conference and wanted to create this, this training for you. Again, all the show notes can be found by visiting sweetlifeco.com, episode number 294. Just click on the podcast and we'll be right there with you on tap. All right. You guys have a fantastic week. I'll talk to you soon.